Hi everyone, this is an animation that will go through the steps for developing a Splayed Gothic Arch Soffit development. So basically you have a Gothic Arch, but the reveal on that Gothic Arch is splayed, so it will have to be developed. And as we go further into this animation now, here you'll see an illustration of basically what we're talking about. So here is coming into view, here is a horizontal section through a wall with a splayed reveal or splayed lining. So you can take that angle as being maybe something that's like, for this exercise we'll pretend it's 60 degrees, I suppose. So this is the horizontal section, and coming into view next will be the elevation view of that same wall, showing those same splays from an elevation perspective. So that's it there, and I put a sort of a marble effect on the wall. There's your marble effect on the wall, and I put a wooden and oak effect on the reveal. So that surface that I'm clicking on there is actually at an angle, and that's the angle it's at here on this other view. So what I'm clicking on there is splayed away from you. Actually, it's not on. You're not looking square at it. It's splaying away to you from you. So and there's a springing line, so from there that's where the arc springs from. So with a Gothic arch, and this is the simplest of the Gothics to draw, it's an equilateral Gothic arch. So if you put the point of your compass there and put the pencil of the compass there and strike your arc, that's the arc you have, and do the opposite in from the opposite direction. Just put the point of your compass there and the pencil there, and there's the other arc, and that's an equilateral Gothic arch. And of course, if you join, by the way, if you join that point into that point, by the way, you have a 60-degree angle. Just a quick way of finding 60 degrees also. So yeah, so that's, and then from that, then you can project lines over to the right here to get the vertical section of that same wall, which we're just going to go through here. And by the way, those are on any drawing, when you see that line, it's a long and a short dash with a crowsfoot arrow, and usually is labelled, that's a sectional line sliced through the wall. And if you were looking from this direction downwards, that's what you would see there. That's the point that's been made there. So that's what's happened. And this is a sectional view from the other direction. So again, when you that's the sectional line there, and this is labeled section AA, because on a drawing you could have several sections, so they all need to be labeled individually. The arrow then tells you what direction basically to look at. This is the first angle projection type drawing, they call it. So whatever way the arrow is pointing, look in that direction, and you'll see that's where you should see that view of that. If you took a slice through the drawing at that point. So that's coming out there now. You see the lines projecting out there off to the right, those light blue lines. So that's an orthographic projection. And there's the vertical section view coming up there now. And here is a view of it like a regular drawing type view, rather than coloured in as I had. So yeah, the first point I want to make here basically is, you know, when you look at this drawing first, you want to think of this in terms of a cone, or a portion of a cone. So if you look at this line here, that's at an angle, and if you think of that in terms of a cone, and if I projected that line on here, which I've done in blue here, and do it from the far side as well, and that'd be the rise line of the cone there, and this would be the base of the cone. And so think of a cone development that you would have done in previous exercises possibly. So think of it as a cone, and that we just want a portion of that cone opened out, which is at the base of this cone. So where is the rise line of the cone? Well, it's on this line. And you know, and when you're thinking of a cone, well, on plan, what way are we looking at it? Well, on plan it's coming into view here now, and if you look closely, there's the plan view, which would be circular, and there'd be the tip of the cone right there. And where is it? It's at where we put our compass earlier on, and we struck our curve from here. This is the plan view, and that's again the bottom portion from the plan view perspective. So think of it in terms of a cone. If you're ever trying to figure this out again in the future, ask yourself, is that a portion of a cone right there? Which it is, and there's the proof of it there. And there's wherever you put your compass when drawing that curve, that's also the center of a cone, if you've fully developed out a cone. The true shape of the surface of a cone, in other words. But of course we only want a small portion at the base of that cone, which is here, this reveal here. So just think of it in terms of a cone. So in this case, we're going to divide the arch now here. We're going to divide this from here to here into steps that we will use as we're developing this through shape. So you can see it progressing here now. So just sprung a line out there, and again I can use, because I know from here to here is 60 degrees, if I turn the 60 degree set square the other way, I get a 30 degree angle, which is this line. So you can use that line there then to draw a 30 degree line, and that'll divide the curve in half. Yeah, and sure, if you bisect it then like I've done here, I'll put the point that comes here, bisect, and point that comes here, and bisect, I'll draw another line, and that'll divide again into more equal divisions on that Gothic arch. And by the way, if you're doing joint lines for the bricklayer or a stonemason, that would be the joint lines. This is how you'd find the joint lines for all the blocks or bricks if they were going around that archway. So those straight lines here would be joint lines if it was blocks or bricks, by the way. So in this case we just divide it into 4, but out on site you might have divided into way more, so you'd be doing more bisecting. But for the sake of this exercise, this amount of divisions will do. So I'll just play it on there, and you can see it happen there now. There's the bisecting taking place, and then we'll shoot a line from that bisecting junction down to the centre of the curve here. And here are all the points then we're using there, that point, which we usually label then. So label them all then, and give that one 0. That'll be 1, 3, 4, and then we'll just continue here. Then on the inside of the curve, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last step will be a bit smaller, but that's fine on the inside of the curve. You can leave it at that. So those steps then will be used down here. So we're opening out. We put the point of our compass now up here at the tip of the coin of a cone, as it were, that we spoke about earlier. That's the rise line in the centre of the cone, and that's the side of the cone sloping up here, and where the two met, the junction where the rise line and the side of the cone met, that gave us our centre for our arc to swing down here. So now we're swinging that arc there now, and that's going to open out the true shape of the cone, and we're going to step along those two blue lines. We're going to step, the steps we took here are going to get stepped along here. So the outer one is the bigger radius, so that gets steps along here, and the inner one then along here will get stepped along here. You'll see that happening now in this animation. And this will be stepped with a compass. So yes, there's step 1 with the compass, number 1, and then put the point of the compass here then in step 2, and continue on for all your steps. And same on the inside, continue with your steps, and just join the last 2 then, 4 and 9, join as a straight line. And that's your true shape. That's the true shape of the soffit that's drawn there.